Good afternoon, dear beloveds. This is White Wolf. I'm going to start off by enacting protocols. Call upon the live fire dragon, earth and water dragon, earth and fire dragon, flying speed dragon, golden ore dragon, Ezekiel, my two black dragons, a black dragon from Saturn, and an alpha dragon, Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Sandalphon, Raphael, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, Galactic Federation of Light, grandfather, grandmother, and the tribal women are also in attendance, and Big Chief, the Intergalactic Council, and so it is. Hello, guys. We are going to be talking about refraining from the word hate, and we're going to be talking about how we are trying to control the outcome of things when we followed the trail and we did everything that we were supposed to do. But in all actuality, it didn't work like we wanted it to. It didn't work like we envisioned it to, like we imagined it to. But that doesn't mean that you did the wrong thing. You did everything by source. You did everything by the book. You did everything what was required of you. And as you did that, just because it didn't come out the way you wanted it to come out does not mean you did something wrong. It just means something else is coming down the pike. But also, I wanted to talk about a movie I watched like the other day with Morningstar. And a lot of things happen in our lives, and we don't understand why God does what He does. We don't understand why there's a reason for everything. There's a path for everybody, and everybody was meant for something in their lives. So, what I want you guys to understand, and I'm going to share out to all the groups. So, as I'm sharing out, please share out. What the story was this great football player and how he instilled confidence in his own team and how his spirit made everybody do better. It made everybody more in sync. It made everybody driven. It made everybody more at home, and it made everybody have a sense of clarity because of his presence being there. But what happens in the story of My All American, the movie, is that he gets, cancer in his leg and then he dies. And then he is revered by the Texas Longhorns for years and years to come. And most people, and maybe his family at the time, were like, oh, I hate God for this. Oh, I hate this. I hate that. Why did, and I've lost people in my life too. And we always go to, oh, I hate you, God, for this, for that. Well, that's actually the wrong thing to do. That's actually not the most conscious thing to do. That's actually you giving into the dark forces because they want you to hate. They want you to be unfocused. They want you to be off your game. And that's what hate does. That's why when we don't realize that our words have power, we then are giving our power away because our words do very much have power. They do have a lot of standing um, within the spiritual community, within our life in general. So we need to really refrain from the word hate because we are giving our power away. And just because that person died doesn't mean that God had a plan for him and that he is revered by the Texas Longhorns. Freddie Steinmark, the Steinmark movie and story. There's a book on him. There's a movie on him. My All American. It's very inspiring. But most people are like, "Why did he take my friend away? Why did this happen? Why did my higher self and God let this happen?" Even though they don't know about that. Why did this happen? Why? Is the question that we ask. But then we give into hate. Then we give into wanting to hate God, wanting to hate our higher self, wanting to hate everything. But that person had a journey on his life, had an anointing on his life, and maybe he was chosen to be taken out in that way. And we don't understand this because I've lost my sister and I've lost my mother. And trust me, there was a lot of hate and animosity and disappointment in my heart and disgruntlement. But what we have to understand is that that person's spirit still lives on in the heart of the Texas Longhorns to this day. His story inspired people to really live their lives, to not take their lives for granted, and to not um, think that you get a free pass. Okay? Now, we don't understand that, but we always want to we always think that our words don't have power, but like you get into an argument with your significant other and then you guys are going back and forth and you're like, "I hate you. I want you to die." Well, that might happen to that person. Your words have power. Your words have energy. Your words, using the word hate and saying hateful things in an argument actually shows how you're in a low vibratory state. And I'm really saying this because we all do this. We all do this with our family. We all do this with our friends. We do this without thinking about it. We say things like jokingly, but really, our words still have power even when we're joking. Even when we're joking and joshing around about things, our words truly have power. And the dark forces want us to stay off our game, not be focused, not be at a high vibratory state. They don't want us to. They want us to veg out on TV. They don't want us to read books. They don't want us to meditate. They want us to hate each other. And the only way to not hate each other is to refrain from hate and also to refrain from using the word hate. And we need to include everything because all the great masters included everything. So we can learn from uh, many different religions, many different Buddhists, many different things. And we need to include all of it because then we are the source of all things. Then we are the container of all things. And then we are the source of all knowledge. This just source in general, just God in human form, the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. So what I want you guys to understand is that we need to really watch what we say. We really need to refrain from being hateful. We need to really lead with our heart and let our heart be expanded and be open and be grand and be wondrous and refrain from hate and be an instrument of love and be when there is violence, let there be peace. When there is hatred, let there be love. When there is hate, let there be forgiveness. So we really need to understand that we need to really look at how we've been living life for the past maybe 20, 30 years for some of you, maybe 22 years for me. So we need to understand that we need to refrain from using our words as weapons, using our energy as weapons, sending energy out without our even knowledge um, to other people and hurting them because we have power, we have energy, we have words of wisdom that can activate heart healing power, and we do have truth and we do have our authority, but we also need to really take a step back and really focus and analyze on what we are saying. And I hope you guys shared out to all the groups. This is White Wolf. Um, but I also wanted to talk about how we become very agitated on the spiritual journey because we're trying to control the outcome of things. Because we follow the trail, we do what Source wants us to do, we do what we feel that we need to do as we're doing our spiritual busy work, as Matt Kahn would say. And as we're doing that, we get very frustrated. We give our heart out to people and we're like, why isn't it the way that I want it right now? Why am I not getting all this right now? Why is my financial situation isn't in the place where I want it to be? Well, we can't hate God for that. We can't hate our situation. We can't hate everything. We can't be a negative Nancy about our situation because the only way we're going to create is to be at a high vibratory state all the time. And I know that's hard, and I know some days we need rest, and I know some days we need to quiet down and not do anything for the universe. But the only way to do that, and the only way to do your psychic abilities to the best of your abilities, is to do what Source is wanting you to do, regardless of whether you like it or not. Now, some of you are like, come on, White Wolf, I need a break sometime. Well, if you want to do what God has planned for you to do, you got to keep your energy up. You can't bring your energy down. So stop giving your power away to things that are not keeping you in the vibratory state that you want to be in, that you want to manifest things, that you want to create things, that you want to control the outcome, which creates resistance to the outcome instead of letting it be as it is and letting it grow and letting it manifest and letting it germinate. Instead, we want to control the outcome and we want to stress ourselves out, and then what happens to us that we don't attract it, that we don't attract what we want because we are focusing our energy down one line of sight when we should focus our energy on all lines of sight. We do this all the times as energetic beings. We do this all the time because we give our power away to things. We give our power away to hate. We give our power away to negativity. We give our power away to TV. We give our power away to a whole multitude of things. Maybe because our significant other isn't feeling good, and I said this yesterday, that means that we have to feel good. It's almost like a sin to be happy in front of someone else when they're in their own shitstorm. So it's almost like I'm almost the bad guy for wanting to be happy in front of you. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And please share out to all the groups and feel free to donate and make an appointment with me in Morningstar. I'm still doing $50 individual appointments that are kind of like a classroom setting, but I just really write things on the board because I didn't get enough people. So if you are interested, share out and enjoy the message. But because we give into hate, that makes us attract outcomes that we don't want. And because we haven't weeded out the things that do not serve us, we are not going to be able to attract what we really want. So, really, what we need to do is leave life as it is, and work on our inner world, work on ourselves. We need to focus on what's here. We need not to focus on just what's out there and coexist with conventional reality, and just focus on becoming more subtle, more quiet, more in moments of solitude. You will get into the DMT state. You will be lifted up. You will be at a high vibratory state because as you level up in increments, it will come naturally. But sometimes, for some people, they need to be in bed for 3 days. Everyone is different, and I understand that. But when we want to try to just control the outcome, create resistance within ourselves, and act like that we have to press hard in order to make this manifestation come to fruition, when we really should just let it flow. We should let the aqua river flow of God's source energy move on our behalf, and let God's source energy take care of it, and our higher self and our guides and all of our tools at our disposal take care of it, instead of feeling like we need to do all of the work, because we're going to generate stress. We're going to generate us giving up. We're going to generate us having our energy depleted and just fall back down like whoom. When we really, the only way we create is when we're tapped in up here, when we don't have a block up here. That's the only way that we're going to create, manifest, dream big, is to be at a high vibratory state. And you should just let things flow, because once things are in flow, they just go instantly. They just create instantly. They just go. When it's in flow, it's a go go. And when it's not in flow, it's a big no no. And I know that's really silly, but if you can simplify it in that way, then the rest is peaches and cream. But what we do most of the time is that, like, why don't I have 1,000 people like my page? Why haven't I accomplished this? Why haven't I accomplished that? When we really need to realize that we are right where we need to be at this exact moment in time. We truly are right where we need to be in this exact moment in time. We're right on time. We're right on track. And we are in a stage of confirmation, because this is May. This is the month of May. And I said this a couple weeks back, that this is the month of confirmation. So just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. We just have to see through the illusion of outcome. We're seeing through a lot of different illusions. We're seeing through the illusion of hate. We're seeing through the illusion of outcome, of wanting to control the outcome and creating resistance in doing that. Because that's not how you let go completely and surrender to your higher self, because they will take care of it. If you're having to force yourself upon the manifestation, to force yourself upon making this happen, and you're stressing yourself out in the process, and that you followed your highest excitement, that you were following your unshaken alignment to the fullest of your capabilities, and it didn't necessarily work out the way that you wanted to, but everything happens for a reason. Coincidences are an illusion. Coincidences are a fabrication of why everything happens for a reason. We call them coincidences because we're thinking with the linear mind. But the only thinking from the expanded mind, from the extraterrestrial mind, the starseed mind of consciousness, is the only way that you are going to have an outcome. Is that you're the only way that you're going to refrain from hating how you have not made the outcome yet. But the fact that you're hating your journey right now is prohibiting you from actually obtaining more on your spiritual journey, because we always give into doubt when things are not, because it's always a lag within the 3D. There's always a slowness to the 3D, and we have to understand that. But my knowledge does not come from the 3D. I'm here for a reason, to give you knowledge from the multiverses. And that's okay. That's primarily okay, because we were meant to tell someone today, to impart something on somebody today, if they're feeling this way, and this is why I'm giving this message, because someone feels this way and they're going to resonate with it, and it's going to, help them get through the day. That's why we do this as light workers. We want to make the world a better place. We want to elevate you guys. We want to teach you guys. We want to help you guys. And we want the best life we want possible so that we are able to be of service to people. That's why we're living for ourselves in this moment right now, so that we can help other people. And people say, "Oh, you're living for yourself." Well, right now, yes, I am living for myself, so that one day I can be of service to other people, even though I'm being of service to people now, but I'm trying to make a living off this. I'm trying to make this my job, make this my key priority, making me the committed, intense spiritual seeker in search of my own truth, so that I can speak my truth into existence, and that you guys can have an expanded consciousness, so that you can ascend, and that you don't have to wait 30 years to become enlightened. Because I promise you that you would rather take 12 years to become enlightened instead of 30, instead of being stagnant, instead of being very stale, instead of having teachings that are outdated and mundane, instead of having uh, a new, revamped, refurnished teaching. Being cultivated in your character is being educated and refined is a step into the right direction. Okay? Because this is the time of refinement, this is the time of confirmation. You're going to see things change, and you're going to see things manifest. But if you haven't seen it right now, there's no reason to be hateful about it. There's no reason to be bashful about it. There's no reason to think that you have to do this and make it happen. Because if it's supposed to happen, it would just happen. That's, some people are like, I said all these affirmations, I did this, I meditated every day, I did the busy work, I did this and I did that, and it didn't come into fruition. Well, maybe it wasn't supposed to come into fruition. Maybe you were just looking the wrong direction. Maybe you were presented with an option, because spirit is going to present you guys with options. We're always being presented with options all the time. And as we are presented with options, it leads a trail. And then as we follow that trail, we are just being led through different avenues of spirit, through different directions. And just because you went that direction and it didn't come to fruition, you can't hate that. You can't be unforgiving about that. You can't just be a negative Nancy about that, because that's not the way you create things. Is not being at your highest, at your utmost highest, is the only way that you're going to do psychic things, like supernatural psychic things, is the only way that you're going to do it. Because I've been told that I'm going to be able to do certain things that some people can't do. And you can do things that some people can't do. You are intelligent. You are smart. You are authentic. You are in your authority. You just have to keep yourself devoted, and you got to keep yourself humble. But what we do a lot of the times is we stress ourselves out about outcome. We're always so focused on the outcome. We want this, we want that, we want change, we want to do this. And because I did all of this, I didn't get that. And we believe that I am this and I am that, which you are not either of those things. You are just the I am. You are not either of those things. You are just Source doing the best that you can. It's like a mother who feels like she has failed her children, and she's like, am I a bad mother? I watched this movie last night, An Unfinished Life, and Jennifer Lopez was like, am I a bad mother? And then the lady standing across from her, was like, I think you're just doing the best you can. And some of you who are watching right now are just doing the absolute best that you can. And you're frustrated and you're angry and you're hateful and you're just mad. And trust me, everybody gets like this on the spiritual journey, because it feels like you're playing a video game The spiritual journey feels like you're playing a video game and you've beaten the game twice, but as you play the game more and more and more, it just gets harder. The guys get so hard to attack and kill, and the bosses get even harder and harder, and the difficulty keeps uh, increasing, increasing, increasing. So what the spiritual journey is like a video game that we've beaten 2 or 3 times, but now we're playing on a harder difficulty when we were on easy and when we're on normal. Now we're on very hard into extra hard into really fucking hard. Okay? I know it's a very funny analogy, but that's what the spiritual journey feels like a lot of the time is that it feels like you're playing a video game that is upping the difficulty on you. And you're wondering why I've beaten this boss in this game, this creature in this game. Like I played a game called Dark Souls, and it was like you would face this like big giant monster. But as they up the difficulty, and no matter how strong you are, because you're a level 200 or something, it's just more amplified. Your senses and your perceptions are more heightened on the spiritual journey. You absorb energy even more. You're getting intense downloads. You might be having really crazy dreams. But that is the dream. That is the beauty of the spiritual journey. That is the beauty of it all. That's the beauty of being released from the illusion and being released into the dream, into the fruits of life, into the riches of life. To be out of the dark, let's say just hell, because I believe sometimes we're somewhere in between heaven and hell. It's one of my favorite albums by one of my favorite bands. And I know I'm using a lot of analogies in the form of regular reality, but the album title was Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. And I'm here to tell you today that heaven is here. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's everywhere. It's right here. So stop looking around for heaven because it's already here. It's in your heart. And I've been saying this a lot lately because I needed an expanded heart. I needed it for quite some time. You can experience hell if you want to. You can go into the depths of hell if you want to. But that's not you. That is not the I. That is not what you desire. That is not what you want. That is not what your frequency is. That is not who you are as a soul. So stop hating things, stop being negative about things. Really analyze your behavior, your emotions, your thoughts, even. Align your thoughts. Stop watching TV. Stop saying that you hate God. Stop saying you hate this, you hate that. You got into an argument with your significant other and you told them to die because your words have power. And I'm just using an example because we all do this. We all think that um, when we're joking around, that has a lot of power to it. When we're just joking around, because every joke is a half truth. So when we're joking around, it may come off as a joke, but you can kind of sense the energy and be like, "Oh, that person was kind of sneak dissing me," right? So I don't know. This was on my heart. This was on my mind. It was just something I said the word hate this morning while I was weed whacking, and I had the string stuck within the top part of the weed whacker. And I said, I hate this thing. And then I said, why did I say that? I said, please forgive me, God, that I said I hate this thing because this weed whacker was only $30 and it actually works quite fine. It was just giving me a catalyst and a lesson and making some difficulty for me, but I didn't need to say that I hated it because it's given me a luxury. It's given me a luxury to make my yard look nice. So I didn't need to say that I hated my weed whacker. It was just me giving into my 3D self instead of the higher self. Instead of White Wolf, I was giving into Jacob. But I feel like you guys got the gist of this message. I feel like you got the overview. And if you're coming into the feed, please replay this because there's a lot of information that you just missed. Please share out to all the groups. Feel free to donate. Like the page, like it, love it, and get some more of it. I know I'm making a lot of crazy analogies, but I'm making you guys sort of get it without me getting into an explanatory, psychedelic way of explaining it. So, before I do a healing, I want to read the prayer of St. Francis because I said this morning. I said, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It's in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. So, if you guys are coming in the feed, please share out. Feel free to donate, like the page. And I will like to get into some healing. So, if you're a part of this healing, watch the healing and then rewatch the first part of the video because we need to refrain from hate and the outcome of life and just have a perfect balance of conventional reality and becoming better centered in our inner world. Okay. So I've done enough talking. I'll probably do a little bit more talking while I'm healing, but so I want you guys to get in a calm space in your mind. I want you to get into the God state and become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, because that's my mission on this earth is to create oracles of love, light, and wisdom. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath. And I'm going to be doing stupid mudra energy. It's what the Buddhists use. And I will be doing some light language. Ishipama aya atete nakaya atete ma oya ishipama aya ateke nakaya oshete mataya oshepa bataya papa baya daya iteta nataya shiti pama aya atete makoya ateke nakaya atete matoya ishipama aya shiti pama kaya atete mataya oshete matoya ishipama aya ateke makaya shiti pama naya oshete matoya ishipama kaya atete mataya tito mataya do. I call upon Saint Francis of Assisi. There are 7 Buddhist monks with us right now. There are the Arcturians are with us right now. And I would like to call on the Gold Orange Dragon from Arcturus to help us be a guiding light for the ascension of consciousness for planet Earth. You will have a more expanded heart after this healing. You will not have the imposter that has been controlling you. And I'm not saying that you do, but sometimes we have remnants of stuff that kind of linger around and that we need to get rid of. Some of you had past lifetimes, some of you had a terrible past. It's okay, but now you need to accept yourself in all aspects of yourself. And when you do, when you embrace your full alignment, when you embrace yourself as a soul, you will refrain from hate. You won't be so concerned about the outcome of things, but just as it's going through, as it's just flowing, having that aqua river flow of God's source energy flood the heavens. And as we do that, as we get more subtle, as we get more quiet, as we get more moments of solitude, you will know what Source wants you to do. And just know that you are on track. Just know that if you recognize that you're out of alignment, that you are definitely in alignment, even when you recognize that. And I say that a lot. It's about this life, not the next one, because you're not concerned of the outcome of the next one, but you're concerned about this one. But not too much, because if things are just not in flow, then it's just a no no. But if they are, it's a go go, it's a yes, it's a check mark. So just recognize that when things are flowing, when things fall into place, that is what is meant to happen. It is what is meant to happen. You will feel the aqua overflow of God's source energy in your energetic field. You will feel downloads being received. You will feel like you are the source of all things, the container of all things. You are not, I am this, I am that. Oh, I shouldn't do this, and I shouldn't do that. You are just the I am, the monad, the I am presence. You are everything, and everything is you. You are the inner universe, and you're working on your inner universe right in this moment that we are sharing together. But I enjoyed the time that we spent here together today in the collaboration of the ascension, of the awakening of planet Earth. But when I snap my fingers, you will become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, and you will set out to create more and manifest more oracles of love, light, and wisdom. But that's the only way that we stay in the vibratory state of our choosing, is to have love, light, and generosity and wisdom in our tool belt. It is the only way that we create things. It's the only way that we have an outcome. It's the only way to make things flow by our preferences, by what we want to see. And just let it be as it is and let it germinate and let it grow like a flower. But when I snap my fingers, you will come back to. You have a greater sense of clarity. The chakras will be aligned. You will have an unshaken alignment about you. And you'll go about your day wanting to conquer the world, wanting to change the world, wanting to expand the consciousness of humanity. But take one more deep breath. That was powerful. It was very powerful. Make an appointment with me in Morningstar. I'm doing individual appointments that are sort of like a class, but more extensive time. $50 and like our page, like our Instagram page, I underscore M underscore movement, all lowercase. We have TikTok videos on there. Follow us on TikTok and also BitChute. We're doing BitChute. We're doing videos on BitChute as well. So I want you guys to understand that you can please share out. Feel free to donate. Message us on Messenger. Message us on the page itself. And I want to shout out to Place to Heal, and I want to shout out to all of you that almost gave us 500 people who have liked this page. Let's make it 1,000 people. Let's make it 2,000 people, 10,000, 50,000. Let's just make it germinate more and more and more. And I want to thank you all for this collaboration of the ascension of planet Earth and just this message today, and that um, I'm appreciative of the people who watch and the people who share out and the people that do make appointments with us. And if you see our recommendations, you will not regret the decision you make when you make an appointment with me in Morningstar. I don't know what she's going to be doing with her classes, but I am doing individual classes, $50 each. So if you want to invest in yourself today, my PayPal is on there. Share out to all the groups, and I hope that you guys that are coming into the feed rewatch this video, and if you were part of the healing, thank you. And I just want you all to have a blessed day, and I want you to conquer the world and make the change that you desire. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and I hope you have a blessed day.